Okay. So the way in which I will answer the questions will be quoting the sutras. Yes, I'm quoting also Kosho Sensei's books, because it's important for us to maybe not knowing everything by heart, but at least we should know where to consult when we are asked these questions by lay people or by people outside of our sangha. Okay, so we can find a beautiful summary of this in the fascicle number 1 of Amida Dharma. I will not read it like completely, but I will quote from time to time to answer this. In order for us to understand the nature of samsara, we have to understand that there is a natural law. Yes, there's the law of karma, of cause and effect, and this law permeates or rules all of the cosmos, or all of the universe, and all of the and the mind. And actually, according to Buddhism, the consciousness or the mind and the world are two sides of the same coin. Yes, everything that we experience is a projection of our own state of consciousness. Okay, so everything is cause and effect. Yes, there are basically 3 types of karma. Yes, and of course this is very related to the nature of samsara. Yes, thoughts and intentions represent the karma of the mind. Yes, mind karma. Then we have also the karma of speech, everything that we say, and the actions are the karma of the body. Yes, these are the 3 types of karma. And according to these 3 types of karma, various sentient beings or unities of consciousness, let's say, or mind streams, because remember that according to Buddhism, there is no soul or no eternal soul, but there's always only a mind stream, yes, a succession of mind states that different beings experience. Okay, so according to these 3 types of karma, various sentient beings inhabit different world systems or let's say realms of existence in accordance with their own state of consciousness. That's basically what the Buddha teaches. So samsara, yes, it's the dream of birth, life and death, of repeated life and death of various unenlightened sentient beings. That means beings that are possessed of the 3 poisons. The 3 poisons are anger, yes, greed, and ignorance. Okay, so these are the 3 poisons that beings in samsara haven't been able to overcome. Okay, there are six types of unenlightened sentient beings. I will start from the bottom to the top. Let's say it would be hell beings. We have hungry ghosts. We have animals. And we have asuras, or fighting spirits of demigods. Then we have we have hell beings, pretas, or hungry ghosts, animals, human beings. Then we have asuras, or fighting spirits. Yes, and we have also the devas, or the heavenly beings. Okay, so these are the 6 realms of existence. Sometimes you see in the sutras that Shakyamuni talks about 5 realms of existence, because sometimes he merges from 2 into 1, asuras and devas, because actually asuras in the past, they used to be devas. Yes, so but to be more precise, normally we talk about 6 realms of samsaric existence. These 6 realms of samsaric existence can be moreover divided into 3 basic dimensions: the Kamadhatu, the Rupadhatu, and the Arupadhatu. I will explain all of these as we progress. So basically, as Amida Dharma tells us in Amida Dharma fascicle 1, verse 5, we are born and reborn from our karma, that is, from our own actions. Even the outside world is but the manifestation of collective karma. Our world, this plane of existence, as well as all other worlds, have karma as their origin. Various universes and the beings that populate them do not appear by chance, nor are they created by a god, but are the effect of past causes. Yes, as we will see in the following questions, we will explain why Buddhism rejects the idea of a supreme creator deity. Why? It's because this is against the law of karma. According to the teachings of the Buddha and all the Buddhas, the universe appears due to causes, natural causes and conditions. So karma is like the law of gravity, similar. I mean, it's natural. It's not created by anyone. Yes, it's self-existent. Yes, It has always been that way. So samsara has no beginning and no end, okay, in space and time. There are millions of worlds of samsaric existence in the 10 directions, okay? And we happened to populate or to inhabit one of those particular world systems called the Saha realm, yes, which is our, let's call it our neighborhood, which is not a particularly good one, according to Shakyamuni Buddha himself. He tells us that our Saha realm is actually populated by evil karma, yes. Of course, all samsaric world systems have various degrees of evil karma, but all of them, what they have in common are the 3 poisons. That is why when we see the Kala Chakra or the Samsara, we see 3 animals that represent the 3 poisons. This is to mean, in an artistic fashion, to represent the fact that all beings in Samsara are ruled by these 3 poisons: anger, greed, and ignorance. Yes. So beings in samsara go from one realm to the next according to their own personal karma. Okay. As we see in Amida Dharma, fascicle 1, verse 9, I will quote: as slaves to their own delusions, blind passions, and karma, unenlightened sentient beings are born again and again in various places or realms of existence. There are 6 realms of existence which appear due to individual and collective karma, due to the individual and collective karma of beings who are born in them. These are the hells, as I told, realms of hungry ghosts, animals, humans, demigods, and devas. Yes. Okay. So I will explain the different types of karma according to each realms of existence, but this pertains to another question. Yes, I will talk now about the illusory nature of samsara now.
Wait a second. So you will also speak about the three dhatus, the karma.
Yes,
dhatu,
I will talk about that.
The world of desire, the world of form, and the world of non-form.
Yes, of course, Sensei. Yes, the thing is that the Kama Dhatu is inhabited by.
Okay, later. So you are now talking about all the first 10 topics together.
Excellent. Yes, because they are interrelated. Thank you for that.
Because they are interrelated. So you don't go topic by topic. You talk about all of them, all the 10.
Excellent. Okay. This gives me more freedom to talk about this. Thank you, Sensei. Yes, indeed. So we have Kama Dhatu, Rupa Dhatu, and Arupa Dhatu. Kama Dhatu means, Kama means desire, and Dhatu means the realm of desire, or the world of desire. So this is inhabited by hell beings, hungry ghosts, animals, human beings, and Kama Dhatu devas. That means that there are some devas that inhabit the Kama Dhatu. So it includes all of these types of sentient beings. And Rupa Dhatu and Arupa Dhatu are inhabited by high-level devas. This means devas that have learned how to meditate to a very high degree, of course, in the mundane sense, because of course they are deluded, but they still know how to meditate and how to be addicted to certain exotic, or let's call it exalted, states of consciousness in Rupa Dhatu. And we see, for example, the Brahma deities inhabit Rupa Dhatu. We also have the pure abodes. We also have several, like 16 heavens are comprise the Rupa Dhatu, and 6 heavens comprise the Kama Dhatu. And the Arupa Dhatu is inhabited by 4 types of devas that inhabit the 4 formless dhyanas. Dhyanas are mental absorptions, and these comprise the realm of unlimited space, the realm of unlimited consciousness, and the realm of nothingness, and finally the realm of neither perception nor perception. So this is.
So you are now talking about the world of non-form.
Non-form, Arupa Dhatu.
So gods of this plane of existence don't have a particular form.
They don't have a body. Yes, they don't have a body. They don't have a particular body. And actually, okay, I think I will now start to talk about the Kama Dhatu in general. So the thing that characterizes Kama Dhatu, yes, is that all beings that inhabit Kamadhatu are enslaved by various desires. Yes, they are attached to sensual pleasures. That is why up to the Kamadhatu Devas, there are god and goddesses, humans, men and women. Yes, it's because it's divided into these genders because the mind, yes, is still addicted to sensual pleasures. That's why we have let's say sexual attraction up to the of various degrees when you go to the Kamadhatu heavens. But let's start with the hell beings. Yes, so I will start from the bottom. Let's imagine that Samsara is like
asuras. Where do you put asuras or demigods?
Okay, asuras are sometimes thought to be a higher realm. So basically, according to the basic
they are still in Kamadhatu, in the world of desire.
Yes, of course, they are in Kamadhatu. Yes. But the thing is that according to the Buddha Dharma, there are 3 good realms and 3 bad realms. Normally, the hell beings, hungry ghosts, and animals are considered to be the 3 bad destinations, or the 3 evil realms. Why? It's because suffering is to be found abundantly there. Yes, there's too much suffering in these 3 realms. Yes, and the good realms are the human realm. Sometimes the asuras are also considered to be a good realm because they enjoy a lot of pleasures and power. And we also have the devas. Yes, and these are called the good realms. They are also called good realms because in order to be born there, you need to cultivate positive karma. Yes, so remember that positive and negative karma keep you bound in samsara, because we are talking about mundane good and mundane evil. Yes, okay. So these are called mundane good and evil. Keeps you trapped in samsara. Okay, so in this case, I will start to talk about the evil realms. I will start to talk about the bottom of the prisons, because remember, samsara is like a let's call it like a prison building. Yes, so the higher you go, the more pleasures you enjoy, but you are still in the prison. Okay, so the objective of Buddhism, yes, is to exit the prison altogether. It's not to improve your conditions inside of your cell, of your prison. It's to exit samsara, and also to return to samsara to help people to get out. Yes, and to discover the wonders of Buddhahood, which we will talk about later. So the hell beings, in order to be born as a hell being, you have to have a karma dominated by anger and cruelty. Yes, so basically beings, or people in this case, that do the 10 evil actions. The 10 evil actions are killing, stealing, sexual misconduct, we have lying, harsh speech, idle chatter, we have speaking ill of others, greed, anger, and delusion. Yes, these are the 10 evil actions. Yeah, so all beings in samsara, to a lesser or higher degree, they all participate in these evil actions. And some of them who stop doing these evil actions, they are still trapped in samsara because they only suppress it. Like, for example, the gods. Yes, the gods are more powerful than most of sentient beings, but still they are trapped inside samsara because they haven't been able to cut their ignorance, greed, and anger from the root. Yeah? They have only been able to suppress it through meditation. Okay, but hell beings, they commit these 10 evil actions that I have just mentioned, and they are motivated by cruelty. Okay, so you go to different states of existence, or different realms, according to your motivation and according to the deeds that you do. Yes, motivated by a certain mental state. And the mental state of hell beings is one dominated by cruelty and anger. Yes, so for example, people that enjoy hurting others just for the fun of it, or for example, people that enjoy killing animals or enjoy killing other human beings. Yes, this applies to all realms of existence. So all beings who participate in the 10 evil actions, motivated by cruelty and by anger, they go to the hell realms. Okay, there are basically 8 hot hells and 8 cold hells. Yes, and there are hundreds of adjacent or neighboring hells, and there are also an infinite number of ephemeral hells. Okay, so there are many types of hells. We're not going to go through all of these because it's a very large topic, but the thing is that
just one question. What are the ephemeral hells?
The ephemeral hells are hells that are that can be produced by one mind stream or by two, so by little mind streams, and they are actually they can be found anywhere in our human realm. Yes, but the thing is that they occupy a reference in our space-time. Yes, but if you go there, you won't be able to see it, because remember that samsara depends on the eye of the beholder. Yes, so remember that the famous Buddhist saying that you can see a river. Yes, but according to your state of consciousness, you can see many different things. For example, a hell being will see a river of fire. A hungry ghost will see a river of pus. Yes, a disgusting river. An animal will see a source of food. A deva will see a river of nectar. So in this sense, the ephemeral hells can be produced by one mind stream or just by two. Yes. On the other hand, the big hells or the big hot hells are populated by millions of sentient beings. So they are densely populated, and the karma that leads you there is heavier as well. Okay, so there are different gradations of hell realms. Okay, basically, the deeper you go in the hell realm, the more you will live there. Yes, and the lifespan of hell beings is not eternal. Yes, according to Buddhism, hell is not like an eternal punishment, because remember that there is not a judge or not a creator of the hells. Who are the creators of samsara? Who are the creators of hells? Is the same consciousness that produces the hells, like a dream. Who is the creator of the dream? The dreamer. In this case, it's a nightmare. it's a hellish nightmare produced by millions of mind streams that are trapped inside their own evil karma. So actually, the flames of hells and all of the beasts the beasts and the monsters that inhabit hell are produced by the mind streams of those possessed by the karma of cruelty, yes, and evil karma, heavy evil karma. That is why they are tortured. They are actually tortured by their own ignorance and their own foolishness and evil karma. So ephemeral hells, as you mentioned, Kosho Sensei, are very interesting because this can be produced even by one mind stream. Yes, so this reveals the oniric nature of samsara. This is produced like a nightmare or a dream. In this case, it can be produced by one or two, and the ephemeral hells can have many different places where they can be located. Whereas the hot hells and the hot hells are, according to Vasubandhu and according to many sutras and shastras, they are located beneath the earth. Of course, if you go there with a spaceship or I don't know, with a drill and you go down, you won't find anything. Yes, because these are not in the same dimension. Okay, but yes, the ephemeral hells are not located below the earth, but they can be located anywhere, actually, because they are produced by one consciousness or two. And I want also mention that that hell realms are densely populated, and it's very easy to fall into them. That is why Shakyamuni Buddha, in many sutras, is always warning his disciples to be careful with that. It's very easy to fall into hell and very difficult to get out. Yes, but that doesn't mean that beings in hell will remain there forever. As we see here in Amida Dharma, they remain there as long as the causes and conditions remain for beings to stay there, basically. And after a long time, they may be able to be reborn as a hungry ghost, maybe an animal, maybe as a human being, maybe even as a deva. Yes, and I will now share at the end of this presentation some quotes by Nagarjuna Bodhisattva talking about the cyclical nature of samsara and the, let's say, that the foolishness of sentient beings trapped in this cycle. Okay, I will now talk, if you allow me.
Okay, so if anybody has any question about the hell realms, please ask so that Kosho can answer quickly. If not, he will go to the description of other planes of existence. Okay, you are okay with the presentation, Joshi and Hozan? Okay. Okay, so please continue, Kosho, if
Okay,
nobody has any question.
okay, yes.
Please.
Okay, as I was explaining, the hell realms are talked about at length by Shakyamuni Buddha, and Shakyamuni Buddha always warns his disciples not to fall into the hell realms, because falling into them is not an eternal punishment, and of course, it's not a punishment. It's actually a very bad, a very bad set of mental states that emanate a realm of existence in which these mental states are not easily overcome. Yes, so this happens, no? Even we can see it in our daily lives. If we continue to obsess over evil thoughts, there is no end to it. I mean, you can you can stay there until hell freezes over, basically. So this is what happens to hell beings. They stay there, and it's very difficult for them to be helped. Of course, Buddhas and Bodhisattvas are always trying their best to help sentient beings, even in the hell realms, but it's very difficult to help someone who doesn't want to be helped, you know, and Buddhas do not impose the Dharma on anyone, yes? Okay, just a quick note. After that, we see so we have now our building, yes? The first level is the worst level, which is the bottom of Kamadhatu, which is hell realms, yes? And then we have the hungry ghost realm, or the pretas, yes? So basically, as we see here in Amida Dharma, birth in the realm of hungry ghosts or hungry spirits is caused by actions, speech, and thoughts motivated by greed and avarice. So, as I explained, hell beings commit the 10 evil actions motivated by what? It's by cruelty and anger. In the case of hungry ghosts, it is motivated by greed and avarice. That means people that kill, people that lie, people that mistreat others, people that commit crimes motivated by riches. They want to accumulate things. It could be a desire for power and greed, sex, money. They want it all. Yes. So greed is it's what motivates hungry ghosts. So if you are motivated, if with people we see actually in our world that the only thing they think about is money, yes, the only thing they think about is material comforts and how to get to them, even to the point of killing other people just because you want to accumulate stuff or accumulate mental states of prestige, maybe. Okay, then you will be reborn as a hungry ghost. And being a hungry ghost it has many variations. Most hungry ghosts they are described by Nagarjuna Bodhisattva. They have huge bellies, tiny mouths. Yes, when whatever they eat is very painful to them, is transformed into fire. They have a disgusting outlook. They look terrible. Basically, they are always sick. Yes, they cannot even move, some of them. Yes, I'm telling you some of them because some pretas are actually quite powerful, and they have even mental powers, but the majority of pretas are dominated by this condition, basically. And there are other pretas that they move from place to place. There are other pretas that they go to cause problems to people that are very territorial in nature. Yes, they go to get revenge, and they go to bother other people. There are other pretas that look like animals. Yes, so pretas are very malleable. Pretas are very tricky realm of existence because they don't have a set appearance. Yes, we can say that the majority of pretas are the ones that are described in Buddhist art, in which they have flaming mouths and huge bellies, describing the greed. Actually, this body that they inhabit is a manifestation of the greed. So everything they look and the realm of existence, if in hell it was fire, in the case of pretas is a world of scarcity, and actually it makes sense because the people who commit greed, they are actually taking things for themselves. So naturally, what they experience in the world is a world of what? A world of lack, a world of scarcity, a world where nothing they want they can satisfy. There is not enough food. The little food that they can manage to eat is transformed into fire. So basically, they're having a very bad time there. And there are also other pretas that are actually quite powerful. Yeah, they are called the gyalpos. Yes, according to the Tibetan tradition. And these pretas are actually quite dangerous. Yes. Why? It's because they enjoy glory similar to the ones that gods have. Yes. Why? Because some pretas, they have very good karma from the past, as Kosho Sensei explains in the 4 profound thoughts that lead the mind towards Amida Dharma. Actually, he has a complete section. So I invite you to read this section. It's quite interesting because he describes that all of these deities from the monotheistic religions, like for example, Jehovah or Allah, or all of these so-called gods, they are not gods. Actually, they are pretas. Yes. Why? It's because they behave like pretas. We know they are pretas, according to Buddhism. Yes. Because they tell you that they are jealous. They tell you that they will have wars. They tell you that they want money. Some pretas, some of these gods even want blood sacrifices. Like, for example, the God of the Old Testament, you see? You say, for example, the book of Leviticus or the Old Testament, you see plenty of reference to these gods claiming they want fat, they want others, because pretas, some pretas, they nourish themselves through different kinds of aromas. Okay, and the God of the Old Testament is constantly demanding sacrifices from lambs and pigeons, and I mean, of course, they are not devas, because devas don't behave like that. Yes, devas are not perfect.
These are also they are hungry for attention.
They're hungry for attention as well. Yes, thank you, Sensei. Yes, they also like to manipulate people. So they not only want food, but they also want money, and they also want power. That is why all of these religions, like Islam, they always, you see, try to convert them by force, kill them and worship them. So they are always trying to get people to worship them. Yes, and yes, they don't care.
As you said, the constant problem and constant suffering in the realm of hungry ghosts is hunger. But while lower types of pretas suffer from hunger and thirst, these gyalpos have enough to eat, but they suffer for constant hunger from attention. So they are never satisfied with the attention they receive from their worshippers. So they constantly demand attention. Yes, this is their main hunger, their main suffering.
It's like a different kind of hunger, no? It's like a different kind of hunger.
Yes.
Indeed. Yes, I haven't thought it like that. Thank you, Sensei. Yes, they are constantly hungry for attention, hungry for the adulation of others. So yes, and of course the evil karma they accumulate in us is incredibly negative. These beings, as soon as they die, they will go straight to the Avicii hell. Yes, straight to the lowest hells. So it's very sad, of course, and we shouldn't hate these beings. We should have compassion towards them, but we should be careful as well. Yeah, sometimes these beings, of course, they should be left alone. And of course, we have the protection of Amida Buddha. We have nothing to worry about, and Amida Buddha is actually trying to help them as we speak. But we have, of course, to take into consideration that the evil karma that they are producing is indeed very great. Okay. Okay, so this is enough for hungry ghosts. Basically, hungry ghosts, they don't.
Okay, if anybody has a question, wait, if anybody has a question on this, or if you want to add something. When you finish with the description of a certain category of beings, people can intervene if they have questions. Okay. So do you guys enjoy the description until now? You like it? Okay, good. When we post this online, we will have references to various articles that you can also read after you watch the record. Okay.
Yes, I take this chance to recommend Sensei's great book, The 4 Profound Thoughts That Turn the Mind Towards Amida Dharma. There you will see a thorough, very detailed description of each realm of existence. Of course, there are many sutras to be quoted here, and since we don't have enough time, I will try to quote as many sutras as I can. Yes, later on. But yes, okay. that book is very good, and you can also, of course, go to Amida Dharma to see a very good summary in no less like 10 pages or maybe 7 pages, all the descriptions of the realms. Okay.
Sensei.
Yes, please.
I wanted to ask Kosho a question.
Please.
How exactly powerful are the Galpos?
How powerful they are. I mean, just look around. As powerful as they have a complete monopoly over most of the earth, because take into consideration that the most people in the world are not Buddhists. They are Catholics. They are Muslims. They worship all types. Most people worship all types of pretas. There's many shamanic religions, not all of them, yes, but many of them. For example, Santeria, or for example, voodoo. Who do you think they are worshiping? They're also worshiping many types of spirits, pretas, and especially gyalpos. So they are very powerful. We shouldn't underestimate them. And you have also to take into consideration, Hossam, that we, according to the Buddha Dharma, according to Shakyamuni Buddha himself, in the larger sutra, no less, we live in the last Dharma age. And also we happen to live not only in the last Dharma age, but in the kalpa of decline. Yes, our world system is now entering a state of chaos. Yes, and this will end in the destruction of this world system in many kalpas in the future. But still, there is a lot of decadence in all domains of life. Yes, actually, this is spoken of as the five decadence. The decadence of wrong views. We see many types of wrong views being exalted and promoted. Even people think they are popular, or they are like cool to be thinking wrong views. So they think it's a good thing to create bad karma, or they don't even consider bad karma. They have also ignorance, and they pride themselves of being ignorant. We also have the decline of a lifespan. According to the sutras, in the past, humans used to live many hundreds of years, even thousands of years. Actually, Shakyamuni Buddha himself describes that the earth in the past was quite better than it is now. I'm telling you all of this because you have to understand that when the human realm is vulnerable, yes, and we are living lives of less than 100 years, which is nothing compared to the life that human beings used to enjoy, and the gods, not even mention them, because gods can live millions of years, millions of human years. So that puts us in a very vulnerable position. Why? Because our world system is dominated by all of this evil karma, and on top of that, human beings are not practicing, as of now, they are not practicing virtue, they are not practicing even mundane good karma. They are not practicing that. Even our Buddhist sanghas are defiled, and they promote wrong views. This leaves the space open for all these types of other beings who are more powerful than us to abuse us. Yes, but of course,
Gyalpos are known to offer illusory manifestations to practitioners. So many practitioners in the history of Buddhism are known to have been deceived by Gyalpos. There are many cases because Gyalpos can take various manifestations. Yes.
Yes, indeed, Sensei. Thank you for that. Not only Gyalpos, they possess all of the samsaric religions, let's say, but they also interfere, yes, with even honest practitioners, yes, because Gyalpos, they feed on ego. So if you have, like, you are practicing Buddhism, let's say, for an ego trip, and you want to meditate to impress chicks, let's say, or to try to be cool, or even if you are serious, but you still have some ego, Gyalpos have power over you. Yes, they can interfere with your practice, especially if you don't have the protection of Amida Buddha and the protection of Avalokiteshvara and all of the great Buddhas, and if you don't have devotion towards them. Okay, so our best tool in order to protect ourselves from these evil entities, which are many, and they are very powerful, is to have faith in Amida Buddha. Yes, because if you have faith in Amida Buddha, these beings, actually, it's good because you can actually influence these beings and maybe try to change your minds through your own faith. So it's good. We shouldn't be afraid of these beings, because these beings are actually pathetic, and they are causing a great evil karma for themselves and for others. Yes, but we should have faith in Amida Buddha and just pray to Amida Buddha on their behalf, and just wait for them to change their mind in the course of many future lives, in which we will actually be able to help them once we reach the Pure Land. But for now, it's better to warn people, yes, not to follow these evil pretas, yes. And so whenever I find a Christian, of course, I try to respect. For example, my mother is Catholic, so I never mention this to them. But if my mother ever asks me what I think about the Old Testament, I will tell her, yes, I don't think that what you are worshiping is good, yes, of course. So we should try to be wise on how we talk about these things, but we should nevertheless never, hide what we know, because this is something that we know as Buddhists, yes, and yes. So the Alpos, of course, they are not all powerful, and they, of course, they will die eventually, but they can, and they have caused a lot of harm to millions of beings, even millions
and they are
of
also
Buddhists.
Influenced by Maras. They
And
are
by
also
Maras.
influenced by Maras, which
Yes,
are actually gods, but you will talk about them later.
Exactly, Sensei, yes. I don't want to get ahead of myself, but yes, Maras are actually high devas. And
Please
they are
continue.
Thank you, Kosho, for answering the question.
Awesome, yes. Thank you for your good question. All right, so I will now go to the animal realm. Yes. Okay. I will try to quote here Amida Dharma, just to get my mind a little bit settled. Okay, so birth in animal form is caused by actions, speech, and thoughts motivated by ignorance and instinct. Okay, so they commit the 10 evil actions that I mentioned. They kill, they steal, they engage in sexual misconduct, greed, anger, delusion, all of these evil actions that you can do, but they are motivated by instincts and ignorance. Okay, so some people, for example, you see, for example, in the streets, people that maybe they kill, but they didn't do it out of cruelty. Like, for example, hell, people who create the karma of hell, or they didn't do it for greed, but they did it just to protect themselves. Yes, okay, something instinctual. Yes, so they weren't able to control their bodies not to kill somebody else. Or, for example, people who kill because they're hungry. Yeah. And so this creates the karma of being born as an animal. Okay, so animals, of course, as you know, they suffer from eating each other. They are also exploited, for their bones, their skin, their eyes, the substances that their body produces. So animals basically are abused, especially nowadays, since people have gotten used to eating meat every day, which wasn't the case 200 years ago. So many people are very used to eating meat. Most of animals, according to Master Genshin, they live in the sea. And of course, we know that's the case. Most of the animals live in the sea, and they are having a very bad time because they kill each other. They are also abused, in this case, by human beings. And of course, there are many animals that we cannot see. Yes, for example, Nagas are, and Kosho Sensei has written a lot about this. Nagas are serpents, yes, and they have even similar to, they are very similar in human intelligence to us, but they are not part of the human realm. Yes, so these beings are invisible to us now because we don't have so much karma in common to them. However, there are many advanced practitioners, especially in Buddhism, who can see Nagas. They also can see pretas, and they also can see hell beings. So depending on your level of consciousness, you're able to, and your karma, you're able to see these different realms of existence. So there are many animals, of course. Also, some of them actually inhabit the realms of the gods. But the majority of animals that we are used to seeing, they are not all there is. There are many other types of animals that we don't see. Okay, remember that
Nagas and Garudas are animals with miraculous powers. They can shape shift, and they are actually some of the most powerful and well-living animals. No?
Yes, actually, they can live a long time, and actually many of them are very good Buddhists, Buddhist disciples. Actually, according to the Mahayana Sutras, sometimes the Buddha himself taught many kings of the Nagas. And Nagas, normally they live beneath some lakes, deep lakes and wells. And they have even, let's call it like realms and even cities there. So it's very, very strange because normally I used to think that Nagas were like some kind of demigods. But
so
actually,
some of them can be protectors
of the Dharma, yes. But actually, the karma that is in their mind stream is more related to being territorial. Yes, and they have very, let's say, strong animalistic impulses, even though they have good intelligence. So that is why Nagas are still part of the animal realm. But of course, we also have many other animals, for example, the whales, also great sea monsters that I talked about in the sutras as well. And the animals don't have a fixed lifespan. Some animals actually can live longer than human beings. For example, some turtles can actually live like 200 years. Some whales, I think, that also live at least, I think, 100 years. And according to the sutras, there are animals that can live thousands of years, yes, even, okay, and nagas as well. So the animal realm is very varied, but in summary, the vast majority of them, they live in the oceans and the lakes, yes, and the rest of the animals live in the land. And basically the sufferings that they experience is killing each other for sustenance, for eating, mating, and also yeah, basically that's what constitutes the karma of being born as an animal. Yeah, so you see, everything that we're talking about here is very natural. So for example, if you see somebody in the street that all the time this person is thinking about eating, yes, eating is all that matters to them. So obviously they cannot inhabit a human body in their next life. It doesn't make sense. Yes. So as Kosho Sensei says, if you behave like a pig, you'll become a pig yourself in your next life. It makes sense, no? If you behave like a demon or like a hell being in this life, in your next life you will inhabit a hell being's body. Yeah. If you behave like a hungry ghost in this life, even though you have a human body, you will inhabit the realm and the body of a hungry ghost. Okay, so this is natural. Everything in the explanations of samsara, this is the law that rules the universe, the law of karma, cause and effect. Okay, so if you have any questions about the animal realm, you are welcome to tell me.
I think you can continue.
Excellent. Yes, I mean, animals we see all the time. So okay.
Go to the human. Really.
Okay, so let's go to the human world, our human world. And so birth in the human world, as we see here in Amida Dharma, is caused by virtuous actions, speech, and thoughts stained by all the mind's poisons, with no particular poison predominating. Okay, so in the three evil realms, as we saw, we don't see any positive karma. Yes, any positive karma. In this case, we see a combination of positive karma with negative karma. Okay, so as human beings, we have virtues, basically keeping the 5 moral precepts. Yeah, so the fact that we were able to be born as human beings means that we kept the 5 precepts. Yes, maybe not in this life, but certainly in a past life, we stopped killing, we stopped lying, we stopped engaging in sexual misconduct, we stopped basically committing not all evil karma, but the vast majority of karmas that lead straight to the evil realms. Yes, but of course, these virtuous actions, as we see here in Amida Dharma, are stained still by the 3 poisons. Because these 3 poisons are not predominant. Okay, so we don't have predominantly greed or just anger or just ignorance, but we have everything mixed up here. That is why the human realm is so varied in morality. Yes, we say as humans, we see people that they behave like angels or like gods. Other humans behave like animals. Okay, so there is a lot of a variety of karma here. But the fact is that that if we were able to be born as human beings, the fact is that we kept the 5 precepts, but still we have all of the mental poisons still contaminating our mind streams. Okay. Humans are affected by the 8 types of suffering. Yes, they are mentioned in the sutras all of the time. You see, birth, old age, we have disease, death, encountering what is not pleasant, separation from what is pleasant, not getting what you want, and the suffering associated with all the mental and physical elements that define a human body. Yes, which is body, sensations, perceptions, thoughts, and mental states. Okay. So basically, these are the 8 sufferings to be found in the human world. Yes, of course, all beings in samsara experience to a higher or lesser degree these 8 sufferings. Okay? Of course, human beings have an advantage over all beings in samsara in that when we are born here, we are born in a realm in which we have the mental or cognitive capacity to study the Dharma, but at the same time, we have a very good equilibrium in between extreme pain and extreme pleasure. Because remember, beings in the heavenly realms are intoxicated by mental states, by sophisticated pleasures. So they are exactly the opposite of hell. They are in constant ecstasy, and hell beings are in constant pain. Yes, but human beings, we are kind of in the middle there, because we don't have so much suffering as to prevent us from studying the Dharma, but also we don't have so much pleasures to distract us from the fact that we live in a very painful world. Even a millionaire, I don't know, Elon Musk, or I don't know, Jeff Bezos, the guy from Amazon, even these guys, they experience suffering. Even they are aware that the world is a tough place, you see. So this is very good. Why? It's because as Shakyamuni Buddha tells us, and all of the masters and patriarchs, they tell us that if you are born as a human being, you have the capacity to study the Dharma, and at the same time, you have the ability to see death and sickness and old age, yes, straight in the face, yes. Okay, so this is very important, because some gods, they live so long that some of them they forget that they will die. That's how long they live. They become careless. But in the human world, it's not so easy to be that careless, because we see death all around us. Yes, even if you are young, chances are that you have attended your fair share of funerals. Okay, so you have to pay attention. This is what's happening in samsara. This is the world of suffering, and as human beings, we have the capacity to study the Dharma and to see this truth. Yes, the 4 noble truths, to see the truth about karma, samsara. Okay, so the human realm is very good to study the Dharma. Of course, if you waste your human life and you behave like an animal, then this is not a precious human life. You are just wasting a precious opportunity. Okay, so basically the teaching here is that we should seize this opportunity that we have in this human body to study the Amida Dharma, to study the Dharma in general, but especially Amida Dharma, because the other Dharma doors are not effective in this last Dharma age. And we should entrust ourselves to Amida and use this human world to the best of our capacity to exit samsara. Because if you don't use it, if you don't use the human life to exit samsara, then you are wasting your time. Yes, if you just want to accumulate good karma to be born in heaven, that's good. Yes, but the thing is that you will fall again. Okay, so remember that Shakyamuni Buddha always taught to do good karma only because if you commit a good karma, mundane good karma, you will be able to remain in the higher realms, and that way you have more chances to meet the Dharma, because Buddhas normally can teach openly in the human realms and the God's realms. Yes. Most times, of course, they can also teach animals on other realms, but most of the time they turn the wheel of Dharma in the heavenly realms and also in the human realm. Okay, so it's good that people do good deeds, that they feed the poor, that they I don't know, that they are humble, that they are kind. That's good. Yes, as long as they use their next life to listen to the Dharma, because otherwise, if they keep being good in the mundane sense, they will be trapped in samsara. Because remember, there are many places above the human world that are populated by many good guys, by many gods, and they are still trapped in the realm of the birth and death. Okay, so remember, this is the most important thing to be understood about the human world according to Shakyamuni Buddha. Okay.
Yes. Even some people, even while they are still in the human realm, they create connections with the lower realms because they insist on being avarice. You know, they insist on avarice. They behave like animals. You know, they are cruel. So even if their body is still human, their mind stream actually becomes more, resonates more and more with the lower realms. That's very important. So while still in the human realm, you can always have, you can always open doors and connections with all the other 5 realms.
Oh, yes. Not to mention the entertainment industry nowadays.
Ah.
I am very much preoccupied for little children nowadays because they see so much violence nowadays. I mean, I don't know. You see, for example, in these video games and movies, many demons, many, you know, people killing each other. And this seems like fun. Yes, of course. I'm not saying that I don't enjoy many of these things because I'm a regular human being. But the thing is that despite of that, we should understand that our mind is very sensitive. Yes. So yeah, our mind is constantly. Yes.
We are also we also notice the hypersexualization of children.
Yes.
You know, they are trying to teach children about sex and sex to so-called discover their sexuality while they are still very, very young. And the whole of human society is very hypersexualized through everything. So they are actually, this hypersexualization opens the door to the animal realms.
To the animal realm, and of course these
other realms, of course, other lower realms, preta realms, and so on. Because, for example, if you watch porn sites with cruelty, you know, cruel porn, or I don't know the exact word in English, you know, sadomaso, something like sadomasochist porn, that is actually, you are opening the door to the hell rings, because that, as Kosho explained, that is sexuality mixed with cruelty, and this leads to hell.
Yes, or for example, I mean, little kids. I have cousins, and I mean, friends of mine that already have children, and you see them playing video games. You know, these Grand Theft Auto, and they are killing prostitutes there. They're killing people for fun. And if you are doing that, you are teaching your mind that it's okay to kill. That it's okay to kill the innocent.
Yes.
So I mean, in this world, nobody. I mean, only the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas are sane. We are all insane. Everything that we are seeing, we are being bombarded by evil karma all of the time. Okay, so
I also, when I look to myself, when I contemplate myself, I constantly see that I am opening doors to the lower realms.
Oh, yes.
Thanks to Amida Buddha, I am safe. I am assured of birth in the Pure Land. But if it was not Amida Buddha, without Amida's helping hand, I would certainly go to the lower realms.
Yes, me too, and I think all of us. Maybe some people are not willing to admit this, but our mind is a cesspool. Our mind is is very bad. You see,
what do you think, Joshin? Do you want to add something?
No, I'm just agreeing. I've made several videos talking about how I see myself as my mind as a demon almost. And you talked about that, Sensei, in some of your blogger posts, how you feel like a demon that's been subdued by the grace and mercy of Amida Buddha. And I'm exactly the same way. I know that if it weren't for Amida, I would fall into one of the lower realms. Most definitely. I agree.
Yes, Vyacheslav also says, I think violence of girls, violence against girls, this is the most disgusting thing a person can do. Yes, I think, yes, we also notice an increase in pedophilia, in pedophiles wanting to be considered normal, you know, as normal as possible, you know. Perhaps this is why they also try to hypersexualize children in the West, so that they can prepare them to be more accessible to pedophiles. This is very, very, very grave, you know.
Yes,
very bad.
Yeah, this is terrible, and of course, to a higher or lesser degree, we are all participating. No, and of course, we cannot commit the mistake, no, of saying that all of this is not fair, that we are only victims of the system, all of that. But actually, according to the Dharma, is that no, we are here for a reason. So we are experiencing all of this stuff because we have created the causes and conditions in our past lives. So that means that we are seeing all of this evil show, because we ourselves have the karmic seeds to see it. Okay, so that means that we are not innocent. Yes, and we should, of course, entrust ourselves to Amida Buddha to prevent us from falling even lower than this particular decadent age to the lower realms. So thanks to Amida Buddha, we can entrust to his transcendental merits and go to the Pure Land, because otherwise, excuse my language, we are screwed. Basically, we are very much in trouble. Okay. Okay, I will now proceed to the demigods. If you don't have any more questions or something to add, I ask the Sangha.
Please continue.
Okay, Sensei and Sangha. Then we have the birth as a demigod or asura. This is the term in Sanskrit. Yes, it's caused by virtuous actions, speech, and thoughts. So we commit these three virtuous actions, virtuous speech, and thoughts. Good karma, yes, or the 10 good actions is to prevent yourself from doing the 10 evil actions, not doing them. Yeah, so be free, not being free, but let's say not committing them through a certain period of time. And you do it motivated by a jealousy and rivalry. I will give you an example of this. What is this kind of mental state? Is people, for example, that they donate money to the poor, or they then take the selfie on Instagram. Ah, look at me. Yes, I'm so good. I'm so good. I'm going to Africa or to, I don't know, Latin America here to give money to the poor. It's good. They're doing good. I mean, we cannot deny it. It's good. Yes, I'm glad that people are donating money. But the thing is that they are doing it because they want to be better than others. Yes, they want to post it in their social media. They want to prove to themselves that they are worthy of reverence. You see, so that's the reason why when these people have committed even very good karma, but combined with this seed of rivalry, this jealousy, this they want to show off. Yes, they are born in a realm in which they have a lot of opulence because of the karma they have accumulated. They have given many, let's say, a lot of money to the poor. They have done many good deeds, but still they cannot enjoy that because their mind is constantly comparing themselves to others. That's why asuras are constantly fighting. Yes, that's the main feature. And asuras, according to the sutras, they live in some realms where they have a lot of toys to play with. Yes, a lot of, let's call it, technology. They have a love for weapons. According to the shastras, they love weapons. They love to fight each other for territory among asuras against asura. They also like to fight some types of kamadhatu devas that are exactly above the plane of existence, especially the gods from Travatrimsa heaven, and also the 4 great kings. So these heavens are constantly fighting the devas, and all of the time they're constantly losing the battle against the devas. So that's why being born as an asura is very painful, and it's also paradoxically a good realm, but in some shastra they're considered to be an evil realm. Why? Is because they're constantly possessed by a spirit of fight, of animosity. They always want to fight. Yes, always want to fight among each other, and they also live long lives of hundreds of thousands of years. They live a little bit, not so much as the gods, but they certainly live way more than human beings, or the vast majority of human beings. And basically, that's how the asuras behave. Yes. There is not so much information about the asuras. According to Master Genshin, they basically like to fight the gods. They're constantly fighting among each other. So yeah, that's basically the lifestyle of the asuras and their mind state. We'll go to the god's realm. Yes. Give me a second. Okay, so we have also the worlds of the devas. I will divide the devas into 3 because the devas are so vast. Yes, so we have to divide them into kamadhatu devas, rupadhatu devas, and arupadhatu devas. So the kamadhatu devas, They inhabit 6 heavens, yes, above the human world. And these Kamadhatu Devas, what they have is a very good karma, but this is combined with a sense of pride and addiction to sensual pleasures, to sophisticated sensual pleasures, yes? So I will give you an example. So you see these people that are very good, for example, a university professor that is very good towards his students, is very moral, and he enjoys poetry, he enjoys classical music, you see? Very sophisticated kind of guy, you see? And if this person has a very good, like, let's say, healthy mentality, he has a chance to be born as a Kamadhatu Deva, okay? Because he has very good karma, he has done good things for others and for himself, but still this person has a lot of pride and ego. He identifies with the things that he loves. He identifies with the pleasures, with poetry. He identifies with the pursuit of beauty, sophistication. You see, so the Kamadhatu Devas, as you see, especially those from Yama, for example, the heaven of Tushita, Trayatrimsa, Nimanarati, and the heaven of the Maras, are inhabited by this kind of devas that still are divided into genders. They are goddesses and gods, okay? Kamadhatu Devas, they are also a very special category of Kamadhatu Devas. They're called the Bhuma Devas. Bhuma Devas are actually devas that inhabit our human world. They are called the nature spirits. For example, many of the gods worshipped by Shintoism in Japan, or for example, by the Native Americans. They worship the protector deities of the rivers, the mountains, the sky, the rain. All of these gods, according to Buddhism, they do exist. Yeah, they live in another dimension, and they have control over many aspects of the weather. They live inside lakes. They protect the woods. They protect the forests. There are many types of Bhuma Devas. Yes, for example, these stories about fairies, about let's say this kind of spirits that protect nature, basically.
They also live in the cities.
In the cities as well, yes.
Sometimes they are protectors of some countries. For example, there are descriptions in some Buddhist texts when of two armies fighting each other, while in the same time their protector gods also fought each other. Those were also Bhuma Deva.
Yes, they are very much owners of the land, no? In which they live, because they live way longer than human beings. So actually, let's say that most countries or most lands of the world are let's call it, they are owned by these spirits because they have lived there longer than human beings. You see, of course, we are talking in a mundane sense because, of course, all of these beings will eventually die. But yes, of course, these beings, as Kosho Sensei says, they can inhabit the same space that we are inhabiting now, but these Bhuma Devas are the gods of the earth, yes, and they are very much attached to their land, to their own land bases, and to nature as well, to the forest, to the seas as well. Yeah, so the Bhuma Devas, and you can actually see why we are in big trouble, because our civilization is murdering the planet. No, we are doing many bad things to nature, putting a lot of wastes on the oceans, doing many bad things to animals, and many bad things to the land bases in which these beings have lived for millennia. So I think we are creating a lot of evil karma, and I wouldn't be surprised if many of the disasters, natural disasters, are caused by many of these Bhuma Devas. Yes. Trying to take revenge.
I just want to add that many Buddhist masters say that poisoning rivers or polluting rivers and streams of water can cause nagas to become enraged and spread poison, or spread disease.
Yes.
Disease.
Viruses.
So this is why many people who live among polluted rivers, they and who pollute rivers, they might receive disease from nagas.
Yes, and not only physical diseases. No, remember that this
Yes.
they are operating in a very subtle way. So you can also create dementia. They can also create madness. You see. So we live in a, as Kosho Sensei says in his books and also the sutras, quoting the sutras, we live in a very interconnected world. We are not alone here. And the human affairs affect other realms of existence. They affect pretas, they affect all beings in samsara. It is told in the sutras that even one thought is interconnected with all the thoughts in the universe. So it's good, in this case, as Jodo Shinshu followers, to keep Amida Buddha. Thinking of Amida Buddha is good. It's good for us and it's good for other beings surrounding us, okay? Because we don't have any good karma for ourselves. Yes, well, we have Amida Buddha's name. So it's good that we say Amida Buddha's name in the forest. And I know that Kosho Sensei is very fond of going to the forest surrounding Amidaji and to try to help the Bhuma Devas that inhabit there. Not only Bhuma Devas, but also pretas. And yes.
Yes, because there are certain types of Bhuma Devas who live in the foliage of the trees. You know, sometimes they identify with the tree like with their own body. And some other times they also, as I said, not as I said, but as the Buddhist texts say, some Bhuma Devas inhabit trees or even bushes or various other places in nature. Yes.
Yes.
So it's very good to say Nembutsu and encourage them to entrust to Amida Buddha, while also being an example of faith yourself, because they can listen, they can hear your thoughts. And yes.
Yes,
they
and
can
it's good,
copy your example.
And it's good because these Bhuma Devas, actually, they have the cognitive capacity. They're very intelligent. Yes, they actually have better karma than we do, in the sense of samsara. No, they inhabit better bodies, let's say. So they have more than the skills to learn the sutras and to engage in spiritual practice and say the Nembutsu. So it's good to preach to Bhuma Devas. And we actually have many ceremonies. I invite you to read the book Worshipping Amida Buddha. You can download it for free in Amidaji's website. Yes, it's also translated into Spanish.
Yes,
and people can actually practice many liturgies to help beings in various states of existence in samsara. Okay. So these are Kamadhatu Devas. We have Bhuma Devas. We also have 6 heavens. Yes.
Please talk about Maras.
Oh yes. So Maras inhabit the last heaven of Kamadhatu. Yes. So we have the heaven of the 4 kings. Then we have Trayatrimsa. Then you have Yama, the Yamadeva deities heaven. Then you have Tusita. Then you have Nirmanarati, and then you have Pranirmita Vasavartin, which is actually the heaven of Maras. Yes. So Maras are a type of, not all Maras are bad. We have to make this clear. There's some Maras actually worship Buddhas. Yes, they are very good. However, some of these Maras, since they inhabit let's say that the cusp or the summit of the world of desire, and they are obsessed with the fact that nobody else can attain to higher levels of spiritual practice than they have, or they don't want people to be born above them. Okay, so they are very much obsessed and jealous of beings, especially from Buddhists who practice Buddhism, and they actually become even more powerful than them, and they exit the domain of existence. So some Maras, for example, like the Mara that used to attack or try to attack the Buddha, because the Buddha always put him in his place, always like defeated him many different. Actually, he humiliated Mara several times. You see, so Maras constantly try to interfere, especially if you are a serious Buddhist practitioner. Yes, for us, I don't think, okay, Maras maybe can be a problem, but actually we are a problem to ourselves. So sometimes we can go to the lower realms without the help of Maras. But if you are a serious practitioner, then maybe some Maras can become interested in you. This guy is about to exit samsara. I'm going to go to tempt him. I'm going to go to interfere with his spiritual practice. And of course, Maras can also influence the Gyalpos. Yes, and becomes like an evil alliance in between these evil pretas and these Maras. That they are very much obsessed with dominating all the forms of life that are below their world system. Yes. So
they can also influence the first heaven of Brahmas.
Oh yes,
As we saw in the
as
Baka Brahma Sutra. Yes.
Yes, we will talk about this sutra in
Oh.
I think I can do it. I can seize
No,
the opportunity.
I mean, I just wanted to say that Maras can even influence the heaven right above them. You know, this is why we can see in the Baka Brahma Sutra that Baka Brahma, who is actually above, first above the world of desire and above the heaven of Maras, he was actually influenced and fooled by Mara to consider himself to be eternal and creator, you know, of the world.
Actually, we can. I can seize the opportunity to talk about this episode, because maybe I won't have an opportunity to do it since there are many questions. So let me go and go to the story of Baka Brahma. This is in the page. In case you are wondering and you are studying this along with me, you go to the True Teaching of Amida Buddha and His Pure Land, Kosho Sensei's books, and you go to page 13, and you will see the discourse of Baka Brahma Sutra. Yes, and then Shakyamuni Buddha says, actually, Bhikshus, once I was staying at the foot of a royal salt tree in the Subhaga Grove at Ukata. Now, at that time, an evil ground view had arisen in the Brahma Baka Das. So we can see that actually the Buddha can read the mind of all beings in the universe, because of course the Buddha was there and he was listening to the thoughts of a very distant deity. Yes. And then Brahma said to himself, this Brahma realm is permanent. This is everlasting. This is eternal. This is everything. Yes. This is not subject to passing away. It is not born, not does it decay. It doesn't die, nor pass away. Yes. So having known with my mind, says the Buddha, the thought in Baka Brahma's mind, just as a strong man would stretch his bent arm or would bend his stretched arm, I vanished from the foot of the royal salt tree in the human world, and then he reappeared, yes, in the Brahma world. So of course, Buddhas can, let's say, like teleport, let's call it, because for them space and time is malleable, yes, so they can appear and disappear within samsara, yes, wherever they want in order to help sentient beings. So he appeared in the court of this deity, which was deluding himself, and he was so deluded with power, so drunk with power, that I thought, oh yes, this heaven is eternal. There's no one greater than me. Who can beat me, basically? Okay, so basically the Buddha, only to make the story short, he goes there, and actually the Buddha discovers that Mara is behind this. Yes. Okay, so he says the sutra here, the Mara, the evil one, possessed a certain member of Brahma's host, and he told me, Bhikshu, okay, so speaking to the Buddha, do not disparage this Brahma, do not tell him that he's wrong, basically. For this Brahma is the great Brahma, the conqueror, the unconquered, the omniscient, the omnipotent. So you see, Mara, of course, is against the Buddha, yes, and he is trying to poison the court of gods against the Buddha. So he's seeing that the Buddha is trying to correct an evil view, and Mara is not interested in that. Yes, so Mara is so powerful that he's even able to deceive these gods. Not all gods, because actually some Brahma gods are actually wise and they are Buddhist disciples. But in this case, Baka Brahma is actually deluding himself. He believes that he's like the all creator of the universe. Yes, and of course the Buddha answers to him, and I love the answer of the Buddha, because the Buddha, of course, he always speaks with kindness and compassion, but in this sense, he's like saying, no, I know that you are Mara and you are not going to fool me. I am the Buddha, I am superior. You see? So basically, the Buddha said, I know you, evil one. Do not think he doesn't know. You are Mara, the evil one, and Brahma and Brahma's host and Brahma's retinue have all fallen into your hands. They have fallen under your power. You evil one thing. This world has fallen into my hands. He, the Buddha, too has fallen under my power. That is what you think. But the Buddha says, but I have not fallen into your hands, evil one. I have not fallen under your power. Yes. So basically the Buddha is telling Mara that he's not going to fool him. Yes. And of course, Mara is interested in that. Why? Because as I told you, Maras, they don't want people to be more powerful than them, and they don't want people to exit the domain of their influence. Yes, because of course, as Buddhists, we will exit samsara altogether, not only Kamadhatu, but Rupadhatu and Arupadhatu as well. Yes, okay. Mara, these types of Mara, they don't like that kind of transcendence. Yes, well, especially from the part of serious Buddhists. If you're a serious Buddhist and you are going to liberate yourself from samsara, you are liable to be tempted by Mara. In this case, as Amida Dharma followers, we don't have that problem, because if you have faith in Amida Buddha, you are automatically protected by the light of Amida Buddha, and you will not be fall prey to Mara's tricks. Yes. But I wanted to share that story because this tells us that Buddhism is very much, against the view of an all-powerful creator deity. Yes, because the Shakyamuni Buddha himself had to correct this deity, this Bhakha Brahma, and all their deities that believe themselves to be eternal. Yes, actually, I read recently a sutra in which Shakyamuni Buddha appears into Sita heaven, and many deities they run away from the Buddha. They tell him, "Oh, there is this guy who is telling us that we are going to die." Basically, yes. So some devas are so deluded that they don't want to hear bad news. So when a Buddha appears, some of them, they may become afraid even. Okay, of course, I don't want to disparage, because there are some good devas practitioners. For example, Brahma Sahampati. Brahma Sahampati was actually the deva who invited formally the Buddha to teach in our world system. Yes, and there are many temples in Thailand and in Tibet that you see this deity, not to worship this deity, not to worship Brahma Sahampati, but to thank this deity for his wisdom. Yes, because he invited Shakyamuni Buddha to teach in our world system. Of course, the Buddha, out of his own volition and compassion, he teaches here because he wants. But of course, Shakyamuni Buddha wanted to create a positive karmic connection in between some of the hierarchies of sentient beings here, and Brahma Sahampati was like the archetype of a good king, of a good leader. Yes, he wanted for his people enlightenment. Yes, not BS. He didn't consider himself the best. He said the Buddha is the best. Yes, so I will invite Shakyamuni Buddha to teach, and I will invite all my friends and all my court and my wife and everything. Yes, no, not my wife, because Brahma doesn't have sex, doesn't have gender. Maybe my friends. Yes, and I will listen to the Buddha. So this is a very good king. Yes, so it's good that we follow the example of Bhakha Brahma, for example, King Ashoka, the good kings from the past who have supported Buddhism. Yes, only for me to clarify that not all devas are deluded. There are many devas who are Buddhists, and they are very good Buddhists, very good bodhisattvas. Yes, some of them. Yeah, and many of them will be also in the future.
Some of these devas still have blind passions. They still have blind passions and delusions. And there are many texts, Buddhist texts, where sometimes Indra, for example, who is also converted to Buddhism, he also do some bad deeds,
Yes, of course.
He shows his blind passions. Yes.
And they are very much in need of Amida Buddha's helping hand. And this is explained in the larger sutra. Many of these beings come from the Deva realm. So many people have accepted the primal vow on faith in the Deva realms. So this is very good. It's very good because Devas, of course, many of them are still, all of them, of course, are still deluded by their own egotistical ideas and by their own evil passions. Yes, very similar to human beings. Okay, so I will now go to the Rupadhatu. Yeah, so Rupadhatu are a set
form
of
realm. You mean form realm?
Rupa means form, form realm. It is called das, yes, because all beings there are, let's say, in a state of mental absorptions that are called the form dhyanas, yes, okay, or the Rupadhatu dhyanas. So dhyanas is called a mental absorption. So these are gods who have learned to meditate. So they don't have the same problems that Kamadhatu devas have. Some Kamadhatu devas, they can even fight among each other. Sometimes they can get even drunk. They like women. They like even sex or poetry, or no, they have hobbies. But in the case of Rupadatu Devas, they are not much interested in sensual pleasures, but they like meditative pleasures. That's the pleasure that they like. Okay, so there are 16 heavens there, including all of the realms of the Brahmas, even higher Devas. There are the Devas of unlimited light, many Devas that are constantly, and according to the sutras, if you go to one of these places, everything that you will see there is people in constant ecstasy there. All the things that they do is to be absorbed in this beautiful meditational state. There's this perpetual ecstasy, let's call it. Okay, so if beings in hell are in perpetual pain, these guys are in perpetual intoxication with mental states. Okay, so all of these devas are constantly enjoying the pleasures of meditation. So the higher the dhyana, the higher their mental state. You have 4 dhyanas. They have 3 heavens for each dhyana, I think. Yes. So first dhyana heaven, second dhyana heaven, third dhyana heaven, and fourth dhyana heaven. So these devas, the higher they go, the longer they live. It's like hell. If you are in the hellish realms, the lower you go, the longer you stay there. This is like a reflection, vice versa, or the opposite. The higher you go, the more pleasure you experience and the more you live. In hell,
four dhyanas. Four
dhyanas. And the higher you go, the more you live and the more pleasure you have. But the thing is, and of course you have to remember, that it's very good to be born in these realms for fun. Yes, but it's not useful, because if you go there and you get attached to these mental states, you will, of course, die. Yes, and dying, as Kosho Sensei says in Amida Dharma, is like you are having the best party. Yes, you are having pleasures. Yes, even meditative pleasures, and somewhere along the way, you are kicked out and you are thrown in the street like a vagabond, and you are eating below a bridge or something like that. Yes, or you are made to eat dirt. Yes, or eat even dog poo. Yes, how would you feel? Yes, you have something to compare. Yes, because if you are an animal and you are then born as a hell being, you will suffer. But living as an animal is not very pleasant for the vast majority of animals. But in the case of a deva, yes, especially the higher you go, yes, the longer or the more painful the fall. Yes, so if you go to these planes of existence and you don't practice the Buddha Dharma, then you are wasting your time. That is why Shakyamuni Buddha also warned his disciples not to get attached to these mental states of pleasure. Yes, because if you practice meditation without the Buddha Dharma, then you are only changing your choice within samsara, but you are not solving your issue. Yes, you are still inside the prison, and the only thing that you are doing is going to the upper floors to have fun there. You are not exiting the prison cell. You are still inside. Yeah, you're still inside the bars of birth and death. Okay, so you have to take that into consideration. Okay. And then we have the Arupa Dhyana, yes, or the formless heavens. There are 4 formless heavens. Yes, there are 16 or 17, I think 16 Rupa heavens, Rupadatu heavens, or 4 world heavens. There are 6 Kamadatu heavens, and there are 4 formless heavens. We have the unlimited space, we have unlimited consciousnness, we have nothingness, and we have the realm of neither perception nor perception. So these realms are very difficult to describe because the beings there, they don't have like a fixed body. They are only inhabit like a dimension in which the only thing that you're experiencing is formlessness. Okay, so these are beings we are attached to formlessness. So remember that Buddhas, on the other hand, they do not reject forms. They are not attached to forms, but they do not reject them. But in the case of these formless deities, they do reject forms. They don't like it. Yeah, they think they are above it, but actually the only thing they are doing is they're getting intoxicated with a mental state within samsara that is very sophisticated and very, let's call it, very subtle. Yes, that is the word. Very subtle. It's very soft. But this is like another kind of high. They're high with something that maybe is not creating, let's say, is not harming others. Yes, but the thing is that if they are there, they're basically wasting their time. They're like hibernating. Yes, imagine like someone taking a very long nap. Yes, very pleasant state of mind, even very radiant, very all-embracing, but they are not doing anything. They don't have compassion, they don't have wisdom. Yes, so that is indeed very sad. Actually, Shakyamuni Buddha, before he became, before he manifested himself as Shakyamuni Buddha, he had many different masters of meditation. Of course, he did it on purpose, because remember that Shakyamuni Buddha was a Buddha all along. He was just playing a game, no? As we saw in the larger sutra and the Lotus Sutra. Yes, but the thing was that Shakyamuni Buddha did this on purpose, yes, to make himself disciple of these masters, and basically to show that these masters had reached these formless dhyanas, and they were still trapped in samsara. And you see that Shakyamuni or Siddhartha Gautama, because he hadn't still revealed himself as the Buddha, the Prince Siddhartha, then he left these masters. It was Ramaputra and Alarakalama. Yes, and he said, "No, you are mistaken. I have become as good as you are in meditation, and I am still inside samsara. Yes, I still haven't reached nirvana, haven't reached enlightenment." So I think this is a very good strategy, yes, that Shakyamuni Buddha employed here, because he showed us that doesn't matter how good you are in meditation, if you don't have compassion, if you don't have wisdom, if you don't have the Buddha Dharma, the teaching of karma, and all of the paramitas and all of the teachings of that he discovered or that he preached, yes, because he was a Buddha, then you are not enlightened. So this is very important to notice. So there are many religions nowadays, for example, in Hinduism, that they teach these exotic mental states of meditation, but you never see them talking about compassion, never talking about, you see, why they are practicing the exalted mental states, or they think that maybe God is not even a Rupadatu Deva, but it's like an all-embracive energy or something like this. But this is meaningless according to Buddhism, because these are only like the top floor of the prison cell, but they are still trapped because they identify themselves with these mental states that are formless, yes, but they are actually attached to formlessness, yes. The same way that we are attached to the physical or the sensory realm as Kamadhatu beings. So these are all of the realms of samsaric existence. I don't know if you have any other questions, dear Sensei or Sangha.
Yeah, we have like 20 minutes or so.
I think it's fascinating that the very thing that Mara deceived Baka Brahma with, being omniscient, omnipotent, all-knowing, without beginning, without end, is the very attributes that the Canaanite god that most of us in the West used to worship, that we were raised worshiping, whether in Judaism or Christianity or Islam. That was that God's point of view. That God is beginningless, without end, to be worshipped constantly, to be offered sacrifices because he is omniscient, omnipotent, all-knowing. And I think that's ironic. And it's like, it's fascinating to listen to this. Kosho's teaching of the Dharma here, because it helps you to realize that a lot of what we thought were omnipotent gods were, either pretas or maras or some other kind of deceptive, jealous spirit that needed constant reaffirmation of the ego. It's fascinating to listen to.
Yeah. Yes, indeed. Studying Buddhist cosmology for me was like an eye opener, because I used to be a Christian myself a few years ago. I also practiced Hinduism and several Eastern and Western esoteric traditions, and I always stumbled upon the same thing. Yes, you always go to a place and you go to these heavens. And what do you do in those heavens to worship all the time? Oh yeah, you are great, you are great. That's pretty boring. I always thought to myself, that doesn't make any sense. So now if you see the Pure Land, that for me makes more sense, that you go there and you go to help people. You don't go to be helped or to be worshipped, but to help others. And that's a huge difference. That's a huge difference.
Yes, in the Pure Land, we're proactive. We don't just bow and worship some god and feed his ego. We go out and help people to encounter enlightenment as Buddhists once we reach the Pure Land. Absolutely.
The words that you see in the larger sutra are beautiful. You always see compassion, wisdom, activity for others. It's the exact opposite, actually, of the heavens of these guys, of hell. Hinduism, or even this Hare Krishna guy. They want to worship this Krishna, always dancing with him, but you never hear about others. You always hear about this guy. I don't understand.
I wanted to add something, if you don't mind. It's so amazing because even Buddha predicted all this stuff, that like all these hungry ghosts, they have created their own paths, which leads to nothing. I remember when I was I was just screaming at a wall most of the time and just bawling my eyes out, and it never did anything for me. But when I found Buddha's path, it just changed my whole sense of view and everything. I'm grateful for everybody in the Sangha and Amitabha Buddha. Namo Amida Butsu.
Namo Amida Butsu.
Namo Amida Butsu.
Yes.
Namo Amida Butsu.
Namo Amida Bu.
Namo Amida Butsu. So you guys like this idea to discuss all the 71 topics of doctrine?
Oh, very. I'm enjoying it. It's wonderful.
Yes. This way we can examine Kosho, and we can show to others what it means an examination in Amidaji, and we can also learn again everything that we need to know about Buddhism. And as I said, and Jodo Shinshu, and as I said, I will add these videos on YouTube, and also add links to various articles that you can study in relation with each video. In this way, you can study Jodo Shinshu Buddhism and Buddhism in general very, very well, Yes.
I don't know if I completed the 10 questions, but I don't know.
No, you still have to answer. You didn't complete it. There are some things that you need to talk also about the illusory nature of samsara, for example. And
yes, I actually have many quotes that I took from the sutras to share with you guys, but maybe for next time. Next time. Yes.
And you also need to talk about Buddhist explanation and on the origin and existence of the universe. There are many things to be said here. Buddhist teaching on rebirth. How do we understand personality in Buddhism?
Yes.
So-called soul and rebirth. And yes, the influence of karma from the past. You have to talk about this, You already talked about many things. Also, what is a Buddha and Tathagata?
Well, you see, actually, the following questions, I mean, the longest question, I think that the first three, because they include
yes,
all basic Buddhism, but the next ones are maybe easier to, or maybe they are not so long to answer.
Yes. We will discuss them next time.
Okay, Sensei.
Here, Vyacheslav said in the chat, we must help people to escape from samsara. Before Shinjin, before becoming a Buddha, and after, Buddha Amida is the great Buddha of compassion, and we will never stop helping and be compassionate. So he actually, yes, you can understand his English. So yes, to have Shinjin, to entrust to Amida Buddha is the best way to help every being. That's the best way through which we, ordinary people, can help others. That's the only way. We cannot attain Buddhahood through ourselves in this very body. We cannot act as Buddhas in this very life. We cannot benefit people like Shakyamuni did in this present life, but by entrusting ourselves to Amida Buddha, we can be born in his pure land, and then we start a never-ending career of helping others. Yes. So having Shinjin is the best way to help others. If you want to help all beings, yes, is the best compassion that you can manifest in this life, to receive yourself Shinjin and help others receive Shinjin. But as we always say, in order to help others, you have to be an example of faith yourself. Be constant in your faith. Show to others that you are constant in your faith, that your conversion to Amida Buddhism is not just a whim, just a momentary conversion, but it is constant. Show constancy to others. Do you understand what I mean? You know, and people will take you serious, will see that you, Vyacheslav, you became a Buddhist, a Jodo Shinshu Buddhist now, and there are 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, 10 years since you became a Buddhist, and people will see that you are constant, that you, and then they will ask questions, you know. If they see that you are constant in your faith, they will start becoming curious and ask you questions, and you have to be able to answer, which is why it is important to study.